Today's Thursday, June 4th, 2020. I'm struggling to gather my thoughts today. Went to bed not feeling well last night. Stayed home from work. The pub opened publicly, the little local restaurant here on Bowen Island. Opened for public seating for the first time in months, right? And went down there with a friend yesterday and had a sandwich and some beers, and a few hours later came home and felt terrible. Felt sick to my stomach. Got really sick. Went to bed sick, woke up sick. The irony of it all, yeah. It's so fun to go out to eat and go to public places with our friends, and then so few of them are actually serving good food. So few of them are serving good ingredients made well. It's better off shopping, cooking, eating at home. It's frustrating and disappointing. There's not even any good options, at least for me where I'm living here, and they seem they're really tough to find. Restaurants, public places, human beings who give a damn about anything, who try. There's very few of them out there, it seems. Everyone's just content to give up and go with the flow. Whatever's going on. I see people with loud voices calling out on social media, preaching a mainstream narrative as if it's a original thought. Kills me. Excited to go to my hairdresser today and make an appointment. She says I have to wear a mask when I come in. And I haven't worn a mask yet, and I don't plan on it. I haven't seen a pandemic. I've heard a lot of propaganda and lies about a pandemic, but I haven't seen one. I don't know anybody that's died of COVID-19. I haven't seen any hospitals choked with patients. I haven't seen the bodies piling up. I don't know a single sick person. I'm not going to deny that some people do. I just personally don't. I can't imagine that if there wasn't a big story about coronavirus and COVID-19, if no one had said anything about this name and a claim to what this thing is and what it could do, we wouldn't have even noticed it anywhere on the planet. It would have been just something else that somebody got sick with and died. And even as we've tracked it with real numbers and fake numbers all mixed together, I don't see where it's added up to anything. And yet there's evidence on so many other levels. If anybody cares to follow one thread of evidence down just a little bit, there's nothing but lies and corruption around every corner. And that so many people blindly put their trust in a they that they don't know. Who is they? Who are the experts? Who is the government? Even if you can name your representative that you've seen on the television, what do you know about them? When have you ever met them? What do you know about their values and what's important to them? Why would you give your power away to them to dictate to you to what to believe? Oh, I could rant for days. Yeah. I guess my truth today is that I'm hurting a bit, hurting physically, just recovering from being sick, hurting inside in some other ways too. Just it hurts to go out and see everybody wearing masks and playing these games. Hurts to see my neighbor preaching about a second and a third wave of this coronavirus and happily drinking beer, smoking joints, cooking out, and wanting to hide out from the world, like feeling like he's doing his part to flatten the curve by staying home and doing nothing. He's being a good man, believes in his country. Oh, wow. To me, that's the height of human life, to believe what you're told and to find comfort in the fact that you don't have to do anything. You just have to sit still and stay at home and be obedient to somebody that you don't know. Just keep giving your power away. And as long as you're okay with that, there will always be somebody there who's happy to take your power and enslave you. Oh my goodness. And I don't even think it's so much about humans enslaving humans, it's about consciousness. It's about awakening consciousness to who and what we are. And that if you want to be a being of consciousness, separate from the source, you have to claim and own responsibility for your full consciousness, for all that you're doing. And to wake up to how dangerous it is to lend out your power to others for them to do whatever with that you're not being aware of. In order to earn the right as a conscious being, you have to claim responsibility for your consciousness, for your actions, for your power. It hurts. It hurts to see so many people living such uninspiring lives. To see so much information going around out there with available for people to pick up on clues, on and follow anything. I feel like my whole life I've been seeing information that leads to behind the scenes, that shows you things are not what they seem, to show you that people are out for power and are tricking and deceiving as many as possible to get that power. And to look out on our world and say, like, hey, is this society something to be proud of that's on the planet? To want to kick back and just love your government? Think you're living the good life? Have you noticed that we're self-destructing on this planet? Have you noticed the 9 to 5, barely survive, pay your taxes, be in debt your whole life lifestyle is the height and achievement of a human being? That's good enough for you? Really? Nothing to question. Nothing to strive for, wonder about, dream of, attempt to create. You ever try to be a free human being and realize how everything built, every structure in place is there to stop you from doing so? Oh, it's just the rules. Well, who made those rules and why? With what intent? Phrase going through my head. The emperor has no clothes. How many of us read this story as a child? There's a book. It's a little children's book. I think everybody I know has heard of it. Read the story, had it read to them. The emperor has no clothes. The little boy shouts. The little child shouts as the entire streets are lined with the village, complimenting the emperor, the king, it's new clothes. But he's not wearing any clothes. But nobody notices that. Except one little kid who's like, what new clothes? What are you talking about? The emperor's not wearing any clothes. And everyone immediately gets offended and angry at the child for saying that. How could you? How dare you? How dare you not wear a mask? How dare you not believe in the coronavirus? How dare you not believe that all the structures built as they are don't have your best interest in heart, that aren't supporting you and promoting you to be the most powerful version of yourself? It's so obvious, it's hard for me to speak about, because where's the starting point? I need to speak about everything all at once. What part of this are you buying? What part of this reality is making sense to you? If you're not a little bit awake, no one can help you. If you're not trying to find the truth, no one can hand it to you. And if you're not aware that you're lying to yourself somewhere, the real work hasn't begun. About 15 years ago, when I made the decision to leave the Jehovah's Witnesses that I was raised in, I had 3 phrases kind of come through my psychic intuitive mind. It said, center of my circle, aggressive self-honesty, and to drop my agenda. These were like spiritual guidances coming through the psyche for me. The need for me to find and be in the center of my circle and not try to copy or imitate someone else. That wherever their strength and their power was, they may be in their power, and that may be appealing to me and exciting to me to see them standing in their power, but that when I stand in my power, it would look very different than them. And so it was important for me to find where the center of my circle was. Where's my power? And can I stand in that? And when I stand and radiate in that, it will encourage and inspire others. Then aggressive self-honesty. I was aware that I'd believed something for my entire life that wasn't true. I became aware that I'd been suppressing many things, that I'd convinced myself was my truth. But as I looked a little deeper, it wasn't my truth. So I began to become very curious about locked doorways and the closets of my mind and the hallways of my mind, of like hidden rooms that I hadn't looked in yet, that I haven't explored and gotten to know and become honest with, transparent between me and me with yet. And I said aggressive self-honesty because there's a surface honesty that we think we're in with ourselves, but until we go exploring and pick up and look under the rocks of our own soul, we don't get to access that. I'm still on this path of aggressive self-honesty, of seeking out and searching what my own truth is. And in the uncovering of that, we begin to see the lies we've bought into, the lies we've been handed by our parents and grandparents, by the organizations, the schools, the religions, the governments, the society hands you. And we take and accept to be good children, be good students, to be what we are being told it would be a good human being. It takes that drive to do that good thing, and it twists it. And it's up to us to discover that on our own, to come back into what our truth is, to find who and what it is we're aligned with. And the third thing, to drop my agenda. That if I have a certain agenda about something, that it's ultimately going to keep steering me off my course. That I could be in my truth today, but if I hold too strongly to an agenda, it'll pull me back out of my truth again and again. And that certain agendas stop us from seeing the truth when it's handed to us. To this day, I'm still learning how to drop my agenda. How to show up. How to hear the upside down version of what I believe to be true and sit with it. I long for the place where there can be healthy conversation around these things. I long for the time when I see communities of awakened human beings gathering together, working together, creating together. For a long time now, I have no desire to create an uprising, to go attack the government, or to go... I'm not into destruction. I'm into claiming our creative power and creating what we believe in, creating the beautiful reality we believe in. I'm a big fan of the artist Jewel. 20 years ago, when she was on the scene a little more mainstream and popular, she had a line in one of her songs that said, "No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from." Such a powerful and awakened line. And so I urge all of us to reclaim our power and stop giving it to the institutions enslaving us and separating us from our power. Reclaim it. Start to create what you believe in. Gather together with like-minded, awakened people, and let's start creating on bigger levels, bigger communities, bigger groups, bigger networks. Stop lending our power to these enslaving cultures. Somewhere in my angsty days, I do my best to try to connect back in with love. In this moment, I can even feel a little far from it. Try to both feel my frustration at what's happening and what it is that I can do that can be the most productive, satisfying thing to help support what I believe in, and also somewhere trust the bigger unfolding of it all. And today I'm kind of stretched thin in between those two polarized places within myself. I'm hurting. I'm leaning into the big question mark of I don't know what to do. I'm trusting my own process with these videos and showing up each day to speak my truth and to access what's most real and to speak about it. Not get lost in philosophies and teachings too much, but still just speak to what I'm feeling. It's been a long, full share again. Thank you for listening. I send you my love, my blessings of peace. Till next time. Thank you.